Can you pass me the bells? Thank you. You want to ring them? Thank you. Welcome, y'all. Get comfortable. Take your time. If you need any extra props, we'll use them all. 2 blocks, blanket, a strap, some therapy balls. We can also bring them over to you as class goes on. But thank you so much for making room for everyone on the Monday of all Mondays. Snow, ice, cold, inauguration, MLK, day off. I'm happy you guys are all here. Thanks for choosing to come to practice. I said this a couple weeks ago. Hi, Alexis, come on in. You want to come up here? Every time there's a new face to the studio or a new face to class, you get a very cute little blue star next to your name, and there are 12 blue stars today in class. So thank you for coming and choosing to be together. In case we haven't officially met or it's been some time since we've seen each other, my name is Anisha, and we're so lucky to have Kashika here with us every week. And she'll be assisting. So the way that it'll look is I'll practice what I'm teaching today from the mat so that you all and folks at home can have a visual, and she'll walk around. If you have any questions at all, if you need any props, feel free to call her over, ask her, pick her brain, because it's truly a gift to be able to have 2 teachers in the room when there's so many of us. So thank you. Okay, January, a couple more weeks, flying right through. For those of us that have been together for these past couple of weeks, you kind of know where we're going. And for those of you that are here for the first time, or maybe your people brought you to class knowing what was going to happen or not knowing what was going to happen, we're doing full splits for all month of January. And there's so many variations and options and offerings of where we're going to move towards. I know I see the, looking at the person who brought you to class face, but I promise you, I take nothing personally. And this practice and this entire studio, the style of our practice is very take it or leave it, yeah? So you know your body more than I ever will, and so this is your time to support yourself and to sustain yourself. But the reason why I like to teach full splits in January, although it is a bizarre choice to do when it's so cold, is that 99.9% of the yoga poses have a phenomenal, yes, they elongate, lengthen, stretch our bodies in different ways and forms, but they also all have such beautiful mythological stories that they're associated with in the yogic and Hindu tradition. And Hanumanasana is the name of the full splits that we're moving towards, and it's named after one of the great lords of yoga. He's one of the most famous characters in the yoga practice, and he's the god who has the face of a monkey, the body of a human person, and a very long tail. And today's story is how his tail caught on fire as he was trying to save the world as we know it. But his greatest gift is that 2 things. He was known for his pose of full splits because he had the ability to leap from known destinations. He always knew where he was starting from into the unknown. Wherever he landed, he never knew where he was going to end up, but he was always able within himself to take that courageous leap when he was called upon to do it. And his second most admirable quality is that while he was a great god within himself, he has tails and temples and entire villages in India that just revere him, he was always, I say this, I'm pausing because I give you a big asterisk with however I tell these stories. I tell them very informally and from my own perspective. So if you have heard or know of different versions of the story, they are fully correct. But my version is that he was always kind of supporting actress. Yeah, he was the one who was associated with the great gods, the kings, the lords, and the ones that kind of took over the universe. And his greatest power was that of devotion. He was always able to know where his moral compass was, to know what the greater good was, and regardless of the circumstances that he was faced with, he was always like, I'm not ditching everyone around me. I'm not going to let everyone collapse around me. I'm going to take what I have within me to help create beauty, order, and more safety and stability in the world that we're in. So some of you know I have so much to say, so much more to say about it, but I want to get us moving. I'll tell you the story of how his tail caught on fire and he saved the princess from the 10-headed demon when we're in full splits, so that you have a moment to distract yourself, but we'll see where it goes. Please take breaks, sip water. There's a lot of us in the room. I'll turn the fans on when it starts to get a little toasty, but just let me know how you're feeling. So let's start together when you're ready in a comfortable seat, however that looks for you. You might start lying fully on the ground. You might start with your legs crossed underneath you. You might sit on your knees. Hi, come on in. Abidou. Yeah, great. Or we can scooch you in here. Yeah, do you guys mind moving over a drop and then we'll fit you in right here? Is that okay? Thank you. As you find your seat, you might have blankets or blocks underneath your hips so that your hips can naturally be higher than your knees. But let your hands fall anywhere they fall. And as you close or soften your eyes, begin to listen for your breath. When we close our eyes, it gives us all a moment to see ourselves more clearly than ever before. There's those infinite versions of you that exist here in this seat. The you that you were before you walked in. The you that you are here and now. And the version of you you are making space to become into. So as you listen for and feel that thread of your breath that connects every aspect of yourself together, can you let it naturally begin to deepen? Each inhale might move from your nose, past your heart, down into your belly. And as you exhale, offer the breath up and out through the very top of your head, creating more space for more breath. A few more rounds just on your own. Each inhale moves in, back, down, and wide. And every exhale pours itself up, out, and through you. This entire practice, our entire being, is first and foremost an offering to that breath. That reminder, that gift of life that informs, surrounds, and guides every single thing that we do. So as we start our time and our practice here with one another, with 3 more rounds of that breath, take a moment to gather your hands anywhere that may feel like center for you, somewhere on your body, or perhaps in front of your heart, in that moment of self-reverence. If your hands are in Anjali Mudra, you might pull your thumbs back to touch your heart as you gently lift your heart up into your thumbs to meet yourself where you are. Wait for the next breath in as it fills you up. And exhale to offer the breath out. 2 more times on your own. The bottom of your breath, gently bow to your heart, where the voice of your true teacher resides. Never further than your heart and never further than each one of your breaths. And keeping that connection to yourself unwavering as best as you can. Gently let your hands release, lift your chin, and as you blink your eyes open, take your time to meet in tabletop. We'll start linking breath and movement together through a few rounds of cat and cow. You guys have enough space there? You okay? Okay. We won't go too far off of our mat, so you're in the territory. You might have your blocks framing out the front of your mat. Perhaps you use them as we start to move around. But as you make your way to all fours, let your hands come as wide as your mat, even an inch or 2 forward of your shoulders. Tuck all 10 of your toes under behind you. Feel the arches and webbing of your feet. And if you haven't begun already, start to round and arch your spine, moving with your breath through a few rounds of cat and cow. Let's take 4 or 5 full cycles of breath just on your own. You might even close or soften your eyes completely. So you start to move from a place of less what others are doing, what you think you should be doing, but what it is your body truly desires. Maybe you stay rounded or arched for a few extra breaths. Perhaps you slowly move forward and back, your hips to your heels or shoulders forward of the wrists. But sip in 1 more breath in, let it fill you up completely. And exhale to let every drop of that breath go. Make your way back to table, come to your neutral spine, And then just watch for your props and your friends behind you as we come for a calf stretch. Reach the right leg back, tuck the right toes under, and reach back through the right heel to see what's going on in the back of your right leg. Maybe you stay very still. Maybe there's some gentle rocking of the heel moving back and forth. But as the heel goes back, can you think bottom of your heart forward so that all four sides of your neck can grow longer? After a few breaths on this first side, take your time to switch. Bend the right knee, stretch back through the left, and see what side two feels like. Can you send your breath in and down as if it could wrap around that left calf? And as you exhale, reach out through the heel and forward through the very top of your head. Come back to table, find your neutral spine. Walk those hands a handprint forward of your shoulders. Bring your knees back a few inches behind your hips. And with those toes tucked under, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take as much time, take all the breaths that you'd like to find your way there. And in your down dog, see what it is that you desire. Meaning, maybe it's some stillness this morning/afternoon. Maybe it's gentle movement of those heels pedaling from one side to the other. Maybe you bend both knees at the same time and straighten your legs as you lift your hips up and back to the wall behind you. But however you are, can it be an offering to your breath, a deeper breath in and a longer, steadier breath out? At the bottom of your exhale, lift your heels high, soften your knees, peek forward, and one foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your hands to walk it into your forward fold. I like to have blocks underneath my hands so the floor comes to meet me where I am. You might even widen your feet a couple of inches and soften your knees, all in service of giving your low back and hips some extra space. Those legs feel different when it's colder outside. But as you bow in towards yourself, maybe even gently nod your head yes, or slowly nod your head no, and just feel the weight of gravity letting your spine get heavier to the ground. Take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale as you bow in toward your own self. Now hands climb up to your hips. Stand through your legs and a big breath in to come all the way up to stand as you release your hands by your sides. With your feet right underneath you, wait for your next inhale as you reach your arms forward and up. And exhale to soften your knees, hinge from your hips to fold. Inhale to bring you halfway up to lengthen, hands to blocks or shins as you reach your chest forward. And exhale to step it back to plank pose. Find the top of your push-up. With those knees up or down, up to you, feel both legs back in space behind you. And without moving them, can you energetically hug your thighs, your calves, your legs towards each other as if they could become one pillar? Now hug your palms towards each other. Feel the biceps engage as you reach your chest forward. Big breath in. And on your exhale, bend your elbows to lower all the way down to your belly. Wait for the inhale to rise. Baby cobra or cobra. Hug the shoulder blades together. And on your exhale, we meet in downward facing dog or tabletop or puppy pose for 3 slow, steady breaths. Hanuman, the one who could make full splits, full leaps from one universe to the other, one side of the world to the other. His dad was the king of the wind. Each of the elements had a god or goddess that they were associated with. There was the god of fire, the god of the sun, and the god of the wind, Vayu. So Hanuman, this god that we're talking about today, he had the gift to be able to fly on the currents of the wind itself. And sometimes we think, how are these stories so different from our practice? You are a body and being full of breath, full of space, full of capacity, just like they were. So as you feel the currents of your own breath, can you notice the inhale come from the nose into your belly? And with each exhale, regardless of where you are, push down and forward through your hands to feel your hips lift up and back towards the wall behind. Now at the bottom of your breath, lift the heels high, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, to your standing forward fold. Inhale comes halfway up to lengthen, grow longer through your spine, and exhale to fold, bowing in toward your own heart. Take a breath in to rise, reach the arms forward and up as you come up to stand, and exhale to let the hands come down by your sides. Let's do that one more time, really follow your breath more than my voice. Inhale to reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Wait for your inhale to lengthen. Ardha Uttanasana, grow longer through the spine. And exhale to plank pose as you take a full breath in your plank. Hug the legs together, hug the arms together, reach your chest forward. And exhale to bend your elbows to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for your breath in to rise, Cobra, Bhujangasana. Really press the tops of your feet into the ground. And on your exhale, down dog, table, puppy pose. 3 more steady breaths. That breath that moves first in the direction of your chest, your heart. Your heart slowly, steadily, without failing, begins to awaken your mind. And the mind informs the full brilliance and agency of your body. And this practice where we see and get to experience every part of ourselves, the breath that you have, the body that you take care of, and the very spirit and essence of who you are. As you take another breath in, let it fill you up, and a steady, clear breath out through every direction of you. At the bottom of your breath, lift the heels, soften the knees, peek forward, and come forward to the top of your mat, your standing forward fold. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, reach your heart longer to the front of the room, and exhale to fold, bowing in toward your own self. Use your own fists to measure your feet 1 or 2 fist width distances apart. And with your toes pointing straight ahead, bend your knees, sit your hips back, and climb your palms up onto your thighs for chair pose. Now think tush to the back of your mat, really hinge from your hips. And as you push down into your thighs, lift up through the heart. Stay right here breathing. If you want to add some heat in the upper body, the arms can reach up overhead. But listen for your breath. Take a full breath in, down, and wide. With every exhale, think hips back as you lift your heart up to the sky. Take 1 more full breath in. Let it fill you up. Stay for the exhale as you offer that breath out. And now inhale to come up to rise. Stand through your legs. Reach up. Get taller. And exhale to fold, bowing in. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. Come high up onto your fingertips. I like to be on blocks on either side of that right foot. But with the right knee and toes pointing straight ahead, keep your left hand down on the block or ground and reach your right arm towards the front of the room, towards the wall in front of you. As you reach forward through the right fingertips, can you wrap the right hip back towards the back of your mat? Now take a big breath in. As you exhale, let's start to twist open to the right. Reach the right arm up and revolve. Twice more, a big circle. Reach the right arm back and then forward, a big breath in. Every exhale, revolve, open to the right. 1 more time. Wait for the inhale as you reach forward through the fingertips. And now the 3rd time you twist open to the right, stay here for a breath. Reach the right arm up. Can you lift the left back thigh higher to the sky? Wrap your front right hip back and then slide the shoulders and ears back to lean back. A bigger breath in. Stay for 1 more exhale and bend into that front right thigh. Let it get heavier. On your inhale, unwind, lower the right hand, step it forward, all the hops, all the leaps for the left foot to meet the right. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, grow longer through your spine. And exhale to fold, bowing in with your feet 1 more time, 1 or 2 fist width distances apart. Bend your knees, sit your hips back, palms to thighs, hips or arms up overhead for Utkatasana round 2. But listen for your breath. Guide your knees open toward your 2nd and 3rd toes as you take a full breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale. Lift your heart and see if you can look away from the ground where you're going. Slide those ribs back. Breathe into the middle of your back. Slide the ears back to lift your chin. And maybe the arms come back in line with your ears as you sit 1 inch lower to the ground. Big breath in to rise. Reach up. Get taller. And exhale to fold, bowing into yourself. Other side, left foot forward. Step the right foot back to catch your lunge. The higher up you are on fingertips or blocks, it just gives your torso more room to move. But at the left knee and toes pointing ahead, the right hand stays down and reach the left fingertips forward towards the front of your mat. As if someone's trying to tug you forward through the left fingertips, but you're resisting with that outer left hip. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, we twist open to the left, revolve. Twice more with your breath. Reach the left arm back and forward. Inhale in. Every exhale, revolve. Now the third time you twist open, stay there for a breath. Reach that left arm up to the sky. And now that back leg, can you lift the right thigh and heel higher to the ceiling? Wrap your front left hip back, and then lean back against the steadiness you've created. One more breath in. Stay for the exhale and let the left thigh get heavier to the earth. On an inhale, unwind, lower the hands, plant your palms. Facing dog, step back through the left foot. Take a breath, notice what you feel and see from side to side. Pedal the heels and listen for the sound of your own breath. And on your next inhale, a few more times together, inhale through to plank pose, reach the chest forward. Exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Wait for your breath in to rise, Bhujangasana. Legs heavy, shoulder blades kiss on the upper back. And on your exhale, downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your down dog, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. Spin your back heel to the floor. And on your inhale, rise for warrior two, facing the long edge of your mat. Let the right knee and toes point straight ahead towards the front of the room. Now as you look away from the ground, reach out through the fingertips and bend one more inch into that front thigh. Let the whole left heel be fully on the floor. Take a big breath in, down, and wide. Stay for the exhale, look away from the ground, reach out through the arms, and let the right thigh get heavier to the earth. Now on your inhale, reach just the arms up to the ceiling. Bend your right elbow, give yourself a pat on the back, and let the left fingertips hold on to the right elbow. Think right elbow to the sky, and gently press your head back to lift your chin. Can you slide the ribs back? Breathe into the middle of your back as you take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale, bend one more inch into the right thigh as you lift the right elbow to the sky. And now inhale to release those arms out to a T. Push the right leg straight, take a breath, get long. For triangle pose, right hand to your block or to the floor on the outside or inside of that front foot. Good. Once the right hand touches something solid, feel both legs on the ground. And without actually moving them, can you hug your legs towards each other as if the right foot is pulling to the back of your mat and the left foot is hugging forward. Now keep that as you push down into the right fingertips, reach the left arm one more inch to the sky. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale and lean back against the steadiness you've created. On your next inhale, look to the ground. Bring your hands to the floor. Bend your right knee and step it all the way back to downward facing dog. Pedal the heels. Notice what you feel. And on your next inhale, come forward to plank pose. Wait for the exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Rise of your breath as you. And on your exhale, rather than my voice, take it back to downward facing dog. A full steady breath here. Feel gravity beneath you. And a long clear breath out. Now on your next breath in, float the left leg up and back. Step it through or around or use a helping hand to catch your lunge. Let your back heel spin all the way to the floor. And on your inhale, rise. Virabhadrasana 2 on the second side. Good. Occasionally the left knee wants to knock in towards your left big toe. See if you can guide it in line with the front foot. And now look away from the ground. Reach out through the arms. And can you listen for your breath? Take a full breath in, down, and wide. With every exhale, grow taller through the top of your head as the left thigh gets heavier to the earth. Now keep those legs as steady as you can. Inhale, reach just the arms to the sky. Bend your left elbow. Let your right fingertips grab onto the elbow. Think elbow to the ceiling, get a drop taller, and gently press your head back so you can lift your chin. Let there be space for breath to come through. Slide the ribs back as you press your head back. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend one more inch into the left thigh. And now release those arms out to a T. Push the left leg straight. Take a breath, get longer. And exhale to triangle pose. Trikonasana, left hand to your block, to the floor, on the in or outside of that front leg. Now it's this small action that'll really help us out as we move towards full splits. You energetically hug your feet towards each other, like you're pulling energy from the ground up into your legs. And as you hug the legs towards each other, press down into the left hand, reach up through the right fingertips, and slide the crown of your head forward as you lean back. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale, and then inhale to unwind. Look to the earth. Bring your hands to the floor. Bend your left knee. Dog, we meet again. From your down dog, inhale through to plank pose and lower all the way down onto your belly. Make a pillow with your hands. Rest on your forehead or on one of your cheeks. Stretch your legs back behind you. Close your eyes for a moment and listen for the full depth of your breath. In this pose, it's called full pranam, also known as how we sleep sometimes. But the beauty of this pose is you can feel the boundary of the floor beneath you, meaning, can you fill your belly with breath and notice where the breath travels to in the lowest part of your back, how that broadens and widens. As you breathe into your belly and then up into your chest, feel the whole back of your body expand and the front of your body gets more sensitive and receptive. Now keeping that connection to your breath, stay down on the ground, reach your arms alongside of you and flip your palms down to face the floor. We'll come up for a moment in locust pose, Shalabhasana. So before we lift, without moving your legs, hug your inner thighs towards each other. They don't have to touch, but feel them hug in. Now shrug your shoulders to your ears, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, float your palms and arms up off the earth. And exhale to let the legs float up and away from the ground. As you take flight, let your eyes close or fully soften and really listen for the sound of your breath. With each inhale, think inner thighs towards each other, inseams of your pants towards the sky to clear some space in the low back. Now hug the shoulder blades together, lift your palms 1 more inch, take a big breath in, and on your exhale, release. Lower onto the other cheek or the other palm. Maybe you find some stillness or gently wiggle your hips from side to side, all in service of clearing space in the low back. But take a full breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, let the breath pour itself out and through you. Okay, after a few breaths here on the ground, stay on the floor for a moment. We'll come in for the first of our thigh stretches for half frog, Ardha Bekasana. Keep a pillow with your right hand and let your forehead rest on your right palm. Now bend your left knee, lift your left toes up off the floor, and reach your left hand around to grab onto the left foot or the ankle or the leg of your pants. With your head heavy on that right palm, feel your left thigh in space behind you. Press your left thigh down into the floor, hug your inner thighs towards each other, and now shrug your left shoulder up and back as you take a full breath in. Stay for your exhale and ever so slightly kick your left foot back into your left hand. Now on your next inhale, release the hold of that left leg. Switch sides, pillow with your left palm. Let your forehead rest. And as you bend your right knee, reach your right hand back for foot. Sink right heel towards your right butt cheek. Again, they don't have to come anywhere near each other. But as you bend your right knee, press your right thigh down into the floor. Hug your thighs towards each other. And now shrug that right shoulder up and back to clear space in the upper back. Exhale and hands come to either side of your chest. Push yourself away from the ground, tabletop or plank pose. And on your exhale, we meet in downward facing dog, hips to the sky. From your down dog, float the right leg up and back. Step it through or around to catch your lunge. And on your next inhale, come on up to rise for high lunge. Reach the arms, the chest, and the torso to the sky. That's it. Walk your right foot a couple inches over to the right so you're less on a tightrope. And now that back leg, feel your left leg in space. Lift your left heel higher away from the ground. Lift your left back thigh to the sky. Now grow tall through the fingertips. Even look away from the floor as you take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend 1 more inch into that front leg. Now a little moment of balance. Hands to your hips. Tiny bend in that back knee. and all the hops you need to leap off your left foot and scoop your left thigh to your chest. Standing figure 4, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Like you did in chair pose, send your tush back as you reach your chest forward. And now hands can be on your hips. They might come high onto blocks out in front of you, but do your best to flex that left foot as you sit your hips lower to the earth. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Hips get heavy as you lift your heart up to the sky. And now inhale to come all the way up to rise. Lower the left foot down. Feel gravity beneath you. Reach up, get tall, and grab your left wrist with your right hand. Grow 1 inch taller and tip up and over to the right for standing crescent, a side bend. A breath here into that left side of your waist. Can you let the right hip point more forward? The right shoulder point more to the top of your mat. But then slide the ears back and the arms back in line with your ears. Big breath in to come all the way back up. Touch the sky and exhale to fold, bowing in. One more thing, keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot back to catch your lunge. And now come high up onto your fingertips or blocks on either side of that left foot. Wiggle the right toes back another inch or 2. And to move towards pyramid pose, push through the left foot to straighten your left leg for this version of Pursvottanasana. Maybe you're higher up on blocks on either side of that left leg. But as you feel that back right thigh, lift your right heel higher away from the ground. Push through the back right foot and wrap your right hip forward and your left outer hip back. Notice what you feel in the back of your left thigh. Stay right here breathing. Or as you push through those palms, maybe you float the left toes up off the floor, so just your left heel is on the earth. Take a deeper breath in. Stay for the exhale. Maybe the elbows soften as you bow in towards that left thigh. Okay, now reverse. Lower the left foot, bend your left knee, plant your palms, and take to down dog. There's a lot on one side, so take notice of what you feel and see. And now for side 2, on your next inhale, float the left leg to the sky. Step it through or around to catch that lunge. And a big steady breath in brings you up to rise for high lunge on the second side. The more you walk your left foot over to the left, it's less like you're on a balance beam, might steady the ground beneath you. But your support comes from that back thigh. Lift your right heel higher. Lift the right thigh to the sky. And as you wrap your right hip forward, grow tall through the arms, look away from the floor, and bend into that front leg. Now maybe your hands stay overhead or they come to your hips, but tiny bend in the back knee. All the springs you need to leap off your right foot, come up to stand, and right ankle crosses over your left thigh. As you hinge from your hips, sit your tush back and reach your chest forward for the hip opener. Flex that right foot as best as you can. And anywhere your hands are to help your balance, take a full breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, think hips heavy. As your heart lifts up to the ceiling, grow taller. Big breath in to come all the way up to rise. Lower the right foot down, feel gravity deep beneath. Grab your right wrist, 2 inches taller to the sky and up and over to the left for standing crescent. Sides, waists, shoulders can be different. But as you tip up and over to the left, the ears go back. Maybe the arms come back in line with your ears as you arc over to the left. Big breath in to come all the way up, get tall, reach up, and exhale to fold, bowing in. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to catch your lunge. High up on fingertips or high up on blocks. And now wiggle the left foot back just another inch or 2 so you get longer. Now push through the right foot to straighten your right knee for pyramid pose. You might walk your hands back. You might come higher up on blocks as that right leg straightens but doesn't lock. Now first start with the back leg. Can you lift up through the left heel, wrap your left hip forward, and tack your outer right hip crease back. There's so much to be done here. If you want to explore something different as you push through your palms, maybe the right toes float up off the earth as you dig your right heel into the ground. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale as you offer all of that breath out. And now on your next inhale, back it up. Lower the right toes, bend your right knee, plant your palms, and take it back to downward facing dog. From your down dog, your choice. Stay right here and breathe. You might lower your knees to the ground and take a few breaths close to gravity in table or child's pose. Or your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together already. There's no wrong answer, but anywhere you go, can you offer it to your breath? Slow down your next breath in and clear the fullness of your next breath out. All right, from your next few breaths, let's all meet at tabletop. You can sit back on your heels, shake it out, sip some water if you haven't. Warm. We did a lot without any breaks, but it's cold outside, so nice to get a little toasty. Anyone need fans? Yes, no, maybe so. How about medium fans? There were some yeses. Gosh, you got me turning them on a bit. Does everyone have a strap you can use? Yeah, if you don't, we can bring one over to you, but we'll get into the shoulders for a moment, and then we'll work our way towards, as promised, full splits. So find your strap. You can unravel it like a big jump rope. Have it to the right side of your mat, and make your way back to table. Come onto all fours. From tabletop, walk your legs, your feet, your thighs as close as they can come together. Tuck all 10 of your toes under, and begin to sit your tush back onto your heels so you feel some sensation in the arches of your feet for thunderbolt pose or vajrasana. This might be plenty, might be more than enough in fact. If you want to alleviate some pressure, you can bring a block between your tush and your heels. You can also stand on your knees, keeping your toes tucked under. But in any variation you're in, grab your strap in your right hand and reach your right arm all the way up to the ceiling. Now bend your right elbow, give yourself a pat on the upper back. Watch for your friends to the sides as you reach your left arm to the side, turn your left thumb to the floor, and now bend your left elbow to grab the dangly edge of your strap, somewhere in the middle or upper part of your back. Now less about how close these hands can be together, but more about the actions we're trying to get into here. So can you wrap your right arm, your right bicep towards your ear? Now slide your left elbow more to the middle of your spine. Mine doesn't physically go anywhere, but emotionally it feels like it just moved a whole stratosphere. And now as those elbows come in line with each other, some resistance, gently tug your strap apart as you press your head back to lift your chin. Slide the ribs back as you press your head back. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Try to just release the gripping of your fingers around the strap as you press your head back. Now on your inhale, gently unwind. Release your arms, rock it back forward to table. Shake out your feet, roll those ankles out, pat them on the ground as needed. And let's do one more. So you can do the toes tucked under again, or you might point your feet behind you, like this version of hero's pose. But as you sit back onto your heels, sometimes at the last second, the calves get in the way and the heels go out. Do your best to squeeze those inner heels towards each other. Now keeping the toes tucked or untucked, reach the left arm up to the sky. Bend your left elbow. Give yourself a pat on the back and let the right arm reach to the side. I like to turn the right thumb down and bend the elbow to grab the dangly edge of the strap. I said this last week in class and now I'm just so hyper aware of it. I only do this pose so I can lotion the middle part of my upper back. And I can only do it on this side. On this side, it's like one arm is lotioning lower back and one is lotioning the shoulder, but we're trying. So the actions here, draw the left elbow towards your ear, slide the right elbow towards the middle of your mat, and the slightest resistance, gently tug your strap apart as you press your head back. Take a big breath in. Stay for the exhale, ribs go back, head back, and just release the grip of your fingers around each other or on the strap. Good, now on your next inhale, unwrap your arms. Ditch the strap to the side, come back to tabletop, take a seat, shake out your legs in a moment to reset. All right, so we've made it to where we're going, Hanumanasana. So I'll show you the first option, and then you get to decide where you want to move towards. We've done a few variations of it already, getting into the backs of the legs, getting into the sides of the body. Last week, if we were together, we took it upside down. We're not doing that today, we're gonna do that next week. But today, we're gonna keep both feet on the ground, but there'll be an option to really lift the back leg and thigh away from the earth. So this is what it looks like. I like to have a blanket. I like to have blocks with my hands. But from tabletop, your right foot eventually will come to the outside of your right hand. And then we back our way into it. You walk the knee back, and your hands come back. You do it once more. You walk the knee back and bring your hands back. And now instead of locking that front knee out to straighten the leg, it's like you have a very long tail that someone's tugging, and you're sending your hips back to really lengthen through the back of the leg. This is a version of Hanumanasana. When you peel the pinky toes back, the dream I have for you is to be here and breathe. My ideal for you would be not feeling pulling behind the knee, not feeling pulling near the butt cheek, but really softening the knee and hugging your legs towards each other this way. And stay here and breathe. Or if you're like, okay, I've done 1,000,001 hamstring stretches, maybe there's some more room to go. You come from the back. You walk the back knee back, your hands come back. Your knee comes back and your hands come back. And now for this version, the back toes tuck under. You might notice that my hips want to open up towards the left-hand side, and that's what I feel behind the knee. But when you tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee up off the ground, turbo, wrap this hip forward and the front hip back and bring your hands back, you might feel yourself grow longer up to the sky. The idea is not how close your pubic bone can get to the floor. Some of you might be there. Some of you, like me, are hope, a wish, and a prayer to stay upright. But the idea is continuing to square the hips, to draw back into center, to not tug or pull at any parts that don't want to be tugged. Because the idea of this practice is it's not today, it's not next Monday, it's not this lifetime. We're aiming to practice for lifetimes and lifetimes to come. So the picture image of the pose is never what we're working towards. If it is, for you, I love to see it. But it's these actions. How can you continue to sustainably draw in towards yourself while you are stretched in every single direction imaginable? Yeah? I'll talk you through it. We'll do one side. We'll feel like a stretched out rubber band that comes back through center, and then I'll tell you the story. And then we're going to lie down. So come to tabletop. Have blocks underneath your hands. It'll really assist the cause. Maybe a blanket underneath your knees, and take a couple of breaths. Now step your right foot to the outside of your right hand to come into this lizard lunge variation. That's it, with both hands on the inside of your right foot. Walk your left knee back. That's the back one. And now bring your hands all the way back with you. One more time. Walk the knee back and bring your hands back. Now picture your long, long, long tail. Send your hips back to lengthen through the left leg as you straighten the left knee. It's completely personal preference. If your hands are on the inside of the left foot or the right foot, it just gives your torso some more room. Some people like to bring the hands to frame out the right leg to help with balance. But before moving anywhere else, hug the legs together. Drag the right heel back and the left knee and thigh forward. As you push into your blocks, lift your chest. Look away from the ground, a full leap. Stay right here breathing. Or if there's a second of room to move, you might walk the left knee back, bring your hands back. Walk the left knee back, bring your hands back. Walk the left knee back, bring your hands back. And then only if you so desire, with the left toes tucked under, lift the left knee and thigh away from the ground. Wrap your left hip forward and the outer right hip back as you look away from the earth. Full leaping splits. Take a full breath in. Stay for the exhale. Try to soften the grip of your fingers around the block. Soften your jaw. And now when you do not want to do it anymore, lower your back knee. I haven't found a graceful way to come out of it quite yet, but you can bring your hands down and drag the right foot back. Table. Whee! A room of leaps. Questions? For those that lifted the back knee to any degree, did you feel how that helped your hips move a little? Did the sensation travel? Okay. The beauty is the floor is very close. Yeah? Blocks are very close, and the ground will always catch you. So there's infinite variations. Any questions about it? Okay. So the story, we'll do the second side in quite literally a moment. I've been trying to make the story shorter and shorter, even though this is one of the greatest epic tales of the Hindu and yogic canon, the Mahabharata. It's like 100,000 verses long, and I'm going to tell it to you in 3 minutes or less. So if you are interested, I direct you to other resources that can give you the full story. But one of the stories of Hanuman started, he was in the forest where his favorite person, Ram, the king of Ayodhya, was banished. And Ram's wife, Sita, the princess, she got kidnapped, and no one knows where she went. She was in this circle of salt, in a circle of protection, and one day she just left. And no one knew where she was going to end up, or even ways to find her. And so Hanuman says, from within the source of my being, like, I will go. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how I'm going to end up there, but I have something within me that's calling upon me to take this leap. And so he starts off 1 foot in the forest, his known territory with all of his people around him. He leaps in 1 full split on the currents of the air and lands with 1 foot and then the other in the kingdom of Lanka. And he knows, he has a sense, this is where Sita is after she's been kidnapped. He traverses the land, he quickly finds her, but there's the demon king who's kidnapped her, Ravana. He has 10 heads, and he's taken over an entire army of people. And as Hanuman is carrying Sita, the kidnapped princess, the demon's devotees start to torch him. They start to light his little tail on fire. And as Hanuman is trying to escape in his full split, his tail is catching the forest, it's catching everything around him, but he's still able to take this giant leap with Sita in his arms to end up in the forest where all of his friends are. The end. But why am I telling you this story now? I mean, mythology is, sometimes it's just great fairy tales to listen to as an adult, great things to listen to outside of our own realms of being. But there's every moral and every character in these stories is an aspect of our human experience. The reason why I love doing full splits in January so much is because it's been 3 weeks. We know where our feet are on the ground, but who knows where they're going to be tomorrow? Who knows where they're going to be in December? Who knows what metaphorical fires are going to be catching our tails to try and prevent us from getting to where we're going? But that doesn't make us stop taking these leaps. There's no outside forces that allow for you to stop moving in the direction that you want to move towards. So the split is a split. Yes, it is a full extension of your hamstrings and legs, but it is also so much more than that. You start in known, you end up in unknown, but moving into the unknown doesn't stop you from going where you're going. It doesn't stop you, prevent you, or it hopes to not derail you from where your end choice is going to be. We see it in the entire world around us. So let's do the other side. Yeah? Hanumanasana. Tabletop, please. That was also just, anytime I tell the stories, it's me avoiding going to the second side because I know it's not an easy pose, but unfortunately we got to do both. Otherwise we're walking 1 leg taller. Left leg to the outside of your left hand, please. Hands on fingertips or blocks on the inside of your left foot. And now slow and steady, walk the right knee back, bring your hands back. Walk the knee back, bring your hands back, bring them back, bring your hands all the way back. And now long tail, not on fire yet. Someone pulls it back as you straighten your left leg and flex the left foot. Peel those left pinky toes up off the ground. And now as you walk your hands back, lift your heart, see where you're going. That back foot is known, the front foot is unknown, but you can see where you're going. Breathe exactly where you are. No need to change a single thing but the fluency of your breath. If there's some more room to go, walk your back knee back. Bring your hands all the way back with you. Walk the knee back. Bring your hands back. Walk the knee back. Bring your hands back. And then only if you so desire, tuck the back toes under. Lift the back knee and thigh up off the ground. Push into the blocks to lift your heart. And as you wrap the right hip forward, the left hip tacks back as you look away from the floor. A room of leaping monkeys, a big breath in. Stay for the exhale. Try to soften the grip of your fingers around the block as you grow tall through the top of your head. And now slowly lower the back knee if it's lifted. Drag the left foot back to tabletop. A breath or two as you arrive and feel gravity beneath you. The leap completed. A big breath in. And a longer breath out. Beautiful. From your tabletop, just one more down dog. Walk your palms to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the back of your mat to bring yourself all the way back. From your down dog, with your feet, lift your heels high, soften your knees, walk your feet to the middle of your mat, walk your hands to the middle of your mat to meet yourself somewhere in the middle. Inhale to come up halfway to lengthen, grow longer through your spine. And exhale to fold, bowing in towards your heart. Climb your hands up onto your hips. Take a full breath in to come all the way up to stand as you release your hands by your sides. Let's come to lie on our backs, please. So as you come to take a seat, come to lie down. Your head is up towards the front of your mat. The feet are to the wall behind you. Have your therapy balls close by. If you need any, please, you can lay down, raise a hand, and Kaushika and I can bring them over to you. I got you. And have one of your blocks close by as well. You guys need any therapy balls? You got some? Okay. So have your therapy balls off to the side. You got it? Thank you. Have your block off to the side. With your knees bent, feet on the ground. She's coming. I see you. I didn't mean to hit it really old. With your knees bent, feet on the ground. Walk your feet to come as wide as your mat. Rest anywhere on your body as you knock your knees into each other, on your belly or on your chest. Take a big breath into your palms. And exhale to let all of that breath go. Take another full breath in. Breathe into your palms, the back of your body. And a deeper exhale out through every direction of you. Now watch for any props to your right or left. We'll take a few supine twists with your feet wide. Take a big breath in. And on your exhale, drop your knees over to the right hand side like windshield wipers on a car. Inhale to bring the knees back up through center. And big exhale to drop your knees over to the left. Do that one more from side to side on your own. A big breath in. And exhale, the knees get heavy to the right. Let the belly be soft. Inhale to bring the knees back up through center. And exhale to drop the knees over to the left. Now the next time the knees come all the way back up, cross your left thigh fully over your right thigh like you're sitting in a chair. And as the left thigh crosses over the right, scoot your butt to the left side of your mat and let your knees drop over to the right hand side for a supine twist. If at any point this feels like too much pulling on the lowest part of your back, you can always uncross your legs and stack your knees one on top of the other. But let that left shoulder and the back of your head soften to the earth as much as you can. As you take a full breath in and a deeper breath out. Now on your next inhale, uncross and unwind your legs as you bring both feet onto the ground. Cross the right thigh over the left thigh. Scoot your butt a few inches to the right so you stay on your sticky mat and let your knees drop to the left hand side. Keep the legs crossed, uncross them. Let your hands be anywhere on you or alongside of you. But call yourself back to your breath. The leap completed. Feel the ground underneath. A deeper breath in and a longer breath out. On your next inhalation, uncross and unwind your legs. Give them a squeeze in towards your belly or in towards your chest. We've done a lot of asymmetrical work today, so see what it feels like to hold on to both. Perhaps you come into your version of happy baby, letting your hands catch the backs of your thighs, your calves, or the pinky edges of your feet. But as you let the back of your head soften and your tush soften, take a deeper breath in and a long exhale out. Release the hold of your legs onto the earth. And now a few options. I'm going to talk you through therapy balls in the upper back this afternoon. If you'd like to set up early for rest, you are more than welcome to do so. We'll meet you there momentarily. But for those that are doing therapy balls in the upper back, feel free to keep them in their tote or take them out. But lift your head and shoulders up off the ground, and from your upper back, pop the therapy balls in between your shoulder blades to the top tips of your shoulder blades themselves. Once you find a sweet spot somewhere at the upper part of your upper back, your head might come down onto the floor. Or if you'd like to alleviate some pressure, you might bring your head up onto a block at its lowest height. The aim of the game of therapy ball work is less to be in the places that feel tight, that feel like the breath shortens. And how can you breathe through all the fluctuations? Take a longer breath in and exhale out through parted lips to let every ounce of that breath go. You're more than welcome to stay here for a few breaths, or to find a few more spots in the upper back with your knees bent, feet on the floor. Push through your feet to roll your body a few inches towards your head until the therapy balls come down your back to the middle tips of your shoulder blades, slightly lower than where they just were. With your head on a block or head on the ground, take a long breath in. And exhale out through parted lips. Let every drop of that breath go. There's so much to do in stillness. Your arms might stay heavy on you or alongside of you. Or you might slowly reach your arms straight up to the ceiling with the palms and fingers soft. Maybe they move like seaweed in water or gentle figure eights. Noticing what you feel in the upper back. Deeper breath in and a longer breath out. Lower your arms if they're lifted. The floor, push with just enough effort through your legs to roll your body to the top of your mat so the therapy balls come to the tips of your shoulder blades. Bend. For the therapy balls behind your back. Maybe you lean a little from side to side or stay still. If you are giving yourself that hug, switch which elbow and arm is on top just to see what a difference feels like. A big breath in and exhale out through parted lips. Now unwrap your arms if they're wrapped around you. Clear any blocks from underneath your head. And 1 inch at a time, we'll make the exit journey out. You can either scooch your hips towards your heels so you feel the therapy balls come up your back. You can also roll over onto one side and push them out of the way. But however they exit, try to let them fully exit for the remainder of rest. For sometimes if they stay in for Shavasana, they create more tension and softness. Once you set them off to the side and drape your back onto the earth, a breath or two into what you don't see with your eyes, but you can feel. And now the next place we'll meet is in rest. So give yourself this time to take what you need, any layers you'd like to add, any props to use, perhaps a rolled up blanket or blocks underneath your knees or thighs, so your low back can really settle to the earth. Maybe a blanket draped over your entire body, not just for warmth, but for steadiness. You might let your hair down or set your glasses off to the side. But as you drape yourself onto the altar of the earth, can you once again listen for your own breath? Each breath that moves from the nose down into your belly and up into your heart. And every exhale offers itself out heartfelt in each direction. Can you let each breath gently dissolve the practice that was? Let each breath help you arrive to where you are now. And each breath that comes after makes a little more space for what has yet to come. So as every cycle and every round of your breath might let your physical body get heavier to the ground, the heavier your body becomes, the more spacious, the more expansive and lighter you may just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a sweeter breath out. Take another breath in, down, and wide. And as you exhale, offer all of that breath out. Let the breath that you have begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in with any gentle movement that feels sweet to you. You might roll your wrists or ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against its support. Or just watching for any neighbors or props around you. Perhaps you reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your own chest. But when the time comes, we'll all meet with both knees bent, arms overhead as you roll over to any side of your choice, to curl into yourself. As you push down into the floor, come up to rise to a tall seat, the very same way we started. And with those eyes softly closed or softly open, can you once again listen for the sound of your own breath? Each breath that moves from your nose past your heart down into your belly. And as you exhale, the breath moves up and out in every direction of you. Our time together will finish with one more of those same breaths. You can place your hands to anywhere that feels like center for you. As you take a deep breath in, to let it all go. You might bow your head towards your hands, or gently lift your hands towards your head. in such a simple yet sweet gesture of self-reverence, bowing to your own heart and the hearts of each other who practiced, who leapt right alongside with you. And with all of our hearts, Kaushika and I bow to each and every single one of you all. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Thank you. Drink water, stay warm, take care of yourselves out in the snow. My brain is blank, but there are an infinite amount of things happening at the studio outside of public classes. So if you have interest, check the internet. And if there's props or what mats you used from the studio, there are some wipes here you can wipe them down with. And otherwise, that's it. Does anyone else have announcements? Any things you're doing, you're going to, you're seeing, that other people might be interested in? Great. It is the season of staying indoors, which is all I've been doing. But I hope you stay stay warm when it's 9 degrees on Wednesday night. Keep those taps dripping. I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Thank you. Thank you. Yay. I learned it from growing up and stories